Hello, everyone. My name is Reena Banerjee, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator at the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and I'm thrilled to have you all here today. Today we have a great guest speaker. His name is Paul Long, and he goes by LP.
That's me. I do middays, that's 10 to 3, every Monday through Friday here on KSLX. And I do Saturday nights as well. But now we're going to talk about something that's really important, maybe even more important than music, and that's hearing the music. Hey, that is important.
Yes, it is. All right, wonderful. So we'll start off, Paul. I know that you've had an amazing journey in radio. Can you tell us a little more about your history and where you are now?
Sure. It all started when I was told you are going to college, which is fine. I was okay with that, but nobody in the family had ever gone to college, had ever graduated college before. So I was the designated one. And so knowing that now I'm going to college, and knowing that I was too lazy to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, what could I do? And I found the radio station, and it stuck. Although originally I went to school for journalism and then kind of moved over to radio. So I started as a writer, and then found radio, and that was obviously a really good fit. So we've been doing that for a long time. So I started in 1985 in Los Angeles. Worked for a couple of great rock stations there, KNAC and KLOS, if anybody's ever heard of those. Then we moved out to Arizona in 2003, and we've obviously been here, ever since. I worked a couple of years for Sirius Satellite Radio. That was kind of fun, doing shows in your socks, because you don't have to leave home, because it's satellite, because they're in New York, and I'm not. And then, we got together with KSLX. I started doing weekends, just a part-time thing. And all right, I'm back. And we're doing it full-time again. And it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Welcome back. So I understand you have a hearing loss. How does that impact your overall life experience?
Well, music is an audio experience unless you have it up really loud, but then you need good bass. So, I can be driving down the street with the radio at a typical normal level, and I'll listen to it and I'll say to myself, what garbage is this radio station playing? And I'll turn it up so I can hear it, and it'll be something like Back in Black. And it's like, oh. So, yeah, it affects me every day. And talking with listeners on the phones, they want to tell their stories. They want to request their songs. It's hard. It's hard. And like today, if you're watching this interview, you can see it's a little bit clumsy. That's because I don't have my hearing aids. And so we're having to start and stop and do things to make up for the fact that I don't have good hearing. And that's what I hope we need to make available for people. Hearing aids can cost over $4,000. People don't have that. It's not covered by medical insurance. It's not covered by Medicare. Part C, which means you need a supplemental policy in order to get a break on hearing aids and, hearing-related assistings, They'll pay for your visit to tell you that you're hard of hearing, but they won't help you do anything about it. And we're learning now that dementia is caused by, a lack of hearing. because people isolate themselves. And when they isolate themselves, you know, there's no communication and there's no brain stimulation. There's a connection.
It's definitely an issue we want to address. We want to make sure that, you know, everyone's hearing health is top notch. We want to make sure that they're getting the services that they need, you know, in order to thrive in life and not be isolating from the outside world.
That's really important, you know, and I discovered, look, before I got my hearing aids, whenever we'd even have a meeting at work, you know, I'd just kind of sit in the back room and I'm here. And then when the meeting's over, you go find your friend and say, so what did they say in there? You know, that's how the hard of hearing deal with things. You know, they don't want to cause a fuss. So they have to double back and make extra effort, you know, just to stay even. And it's hard. It's really hard. You know, and then people get frustrated with you. I'm sorry, what did you say? You know, and so they end up shouting at you. Not because they're mad, but because they're frustrated. Well, if you're frustrated, you can imagine how we feel. You know, we're frustrated too. So,
what do you feel like is the most ideal approach to the hard of hearing population? How would you want to interact with them? We don't scream at them, right? But when we want to just talk with them in a normal voice. But what are some other things we should keep in mind?
And that's the thing. There's a fine line between speaking up and screaming at someone. You know, and now that I am the hard of hearing, I understand what that fine line is. You know, it's a question of, why are you screaming at me? To, oh yeah, let me answer your question. I mean, it's a really, really fine line. And like I said, when you add in the frustration, that fine line just becomes blurred and everybody freaks out. And now everybody's yelling at everybody. And then you know, it's never ending. It really isn't. Did the doorbell ring? Did the phone ring? I don't know. Why aren't you answering my pages? What?
The world's already noisy, and so it makes it even harder to
really
hear
is.
other things.
It really is, and you know, and you get, it's just really easy to get lost when there are multiple things happening. You know, when I was a kid, my grandma, she was hard of hearing, and she had dementia.
Okay.
Is that a camera? I'm sorry, Grandma. I didn't mean to laugh at you. We weren't laughing at you. We were laughing with you, as we discovered, because now they're laughing at us. Okay, karma.
Yeah, and now you've got hearing loss.
Be nice to people. Yeah, you have to understand the challenges that people are going through.
Can you tell us what technology devices you use to get through the day, especially your work day, when you are dealing with people who speak and can hear? What do you use to help you get through the day?
I have a pair of hearing aids. Very, very well-known company. You know, and like we said earlier, you know, hearing aids can run $4,000 for a pair. Well, I got lucky. I got mine for $2,000. They've been in the shop 3 times now. They're getting rebuilt. In fact, right now as we speak. Technology, I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, we rely heavily on technology, and technology is great, but it has its limits too. It's not always useful or always readily available or accessible. So that's something to think about. Definitely something to keep in mind.
It is something to keep in mind, and it's something to plan forward, you know, to, you know, what kind of a situation am I going to be in? You know, I know, for instance, that when I go to a concert now, I don't take my hearing aids because the volume level at the concert without my hearing aids is perfect. suffice to say that volume level before my hearing loss is what caused my hearing loss is defeating the purpose. I'm just saying that it's good now. Just get the earplugs. There's your big takeaway. Use the earplugs. And that's only for some people. For some people, this is genetic. Wow.
Yes, you know that 20% of teenagers today have some form of hearing loss because of loud music with earphones and earbuds. And over time, that can lead to hearing loss. That leads to hearing loss in their hearing.
I absolutely believe that. Yeah, I absolutely. Well, of course I believe it. That's me. That's me. And for the fact that we're locked in a studio like this for several hours a day, with nothing but a volume knob, that can hurt your hearing too. But yeah, look, we just have to reach out to people who can make a difference. And I don't know who that is. Is that the county? Is that the state? Yeah. Is it the city? Is it the feds? Hearing assistance has to be made available for people. I mean, it is literally a question. It's a mental health issue. I don't see why that's not the starting point. Everybody says mental health is important, but when it comes time to, do something about it, it's, we don't cover that. You can get a supplemental plan for that. It's just
yeah,
not
I agree.
feasible for so
I
many
agree.
people. And what is it? And what is it? Something like 15 million people in this country have dementia. I have to wonder what percentage of those people, have that affliction merely because of the fact that they've, isolated and made themselves scarce.
Yes, definitely don't want those with hearing loss to hide themselves from the world or isolate themselves. The world needs to find a way to really work with our population. So, Paul, I'm curious, are you familiar with the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing? Are you familiar with our services and our trainings that we offer for the general population to know better how to engage with our community?
I'm not. Okay. Not at all. But you can help me. You can help
That's why I'm here today.
You do help people. I'm sorry. You do help people.
Yes, we do help people. We make sure that they receive the information that's accessible and ready for them to use at any time they need it. It's not limited to when an emergency happens, but it's open for everyday life. We provide training, we provide accommodations. For example, I'm using 2 interpreters now who are here in this room with us facilitating communication. I'm also using CART. It's Communication Access Real-Time Captioning. What do you think of this?
Oh, that's kind of fantastic. So anybody who needs help can come to you?
Yes, anyone with a hearing loss. Anyone from the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind, combined vision hearing loss communities, and also those with additional disabilities. We are happy to provide the supports that they need. We're what's called a one-stop center with information and referrals, but we also have engagements with the rest of the state of Arizona to provide the needs of our community.
That's fantastic. And of course, I had an inkling all this happened, but until I sit down with you guys and we really discuss it and suss it out, it's like, whoa, what do we have here? Dun, 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 dun. So all these resources are available on your website? Okay. See, now I'm turning it around and I'm going to interview her.
I don't think I'm ready for that. It's the other way around. Okay, so I'm curious. I know going back to radio specifically, Is there any advice or tips you'd like to share for those who are interested in this field or this industry, who may have a hearing loss as well? What's the best way to advocate for themselves?
Oh, in the radio industry?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have
the
very
plan.
specific instructions. Learn how to do something else. Seriously. Look, it's great, okay? But these days, Hubbard is one of the very few radio companies that still fully staff the radio stations. You can come into KSLX or KUPD or KDKB and find actual disc jockeys on the air talking in microphones. A lot of stations across the country are not like that. For instance, in Los Angeles, 2 day parts. They had 4 day parts, four disc jockeys every day, morning, midday, afternoon, night. The rock stations there, 2 day parts, half of their jocks have been fired. They're jukeboxes. They play nothing. There are no people. So that's why I say, if you're planning on getting into radio, good luck. Don't. Or at least know how to do something else.
I don't know how to do anything.
I don't know how to
something
do
else?
anything else.
Is there anything else you'd like to add based on our discussion?
Sure, all kinds of stuff. But and you guys are in the system. I'm standing outside looking in. You guys are in the system. So, for as frustrating it is for me to see what, and I'm going to put it on the feds, aren't doing to help this community, it must be twice as frustrating for you guys because it's your path. I'm sorry.
You want to join us?
I'll give you a bumper sticker. Yes, and yes, I do. I want to. How can I do that? Can we do that? How can we do that? Can we go talk to Congress? I promise I'll be good. I travel well.
I believe you. Good. I'll send you an invite when that's ready, okay?
Great. I'm sorry I had to read that first.
No, that's all right. I'm glad you could use the system today. What are your thoughts about the CART system?
I know. And you know what? Honestly, without this would not have been pleasant. She would have been screaming across the console. She said, but that's part of, having a hearing disability. That kind of a thing isn't out of the question and isn't out of the norm. And that's what makes it so frustrating. I don't want to be the topic of conversation. I just want to do what I came here to do, and for the fact that, we, can't do something as well as somebody else can, it's made a big deal of, and that's a shame, because that's distracting. It's distracting to what we should be doing. And that's just, having fun and making cookies. Instead of plotting to overthrow the government with health care regulations that will help all. Ooh, I'm sorry, was that radical? Okay.
I'm not going to have to check my car.
So
I'm happy to hear that. I think it's important that anyone with hearing loss, I think it's important to really figure out how best to advocate for themselves, to figure out what resources are out there that they can take advantage of and get the supports as they go on their journey.
So from this, and we're going to post this video, this interview, on your site, along with KSLX.com. So we're going to include a list of
List of resources, yes.
Yeah,
Places that people
can go for, for help and get information.
Yeah, well, we're together on that. It's an awesome team.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Paul, last question I want to ask you is, do you have a personal belief or a motto or a guiding philosophy that you follow every day?
Good morning.
I'm really a morning.
Good morning,
I'm really a
KSLX,
morning
right?
person.
So it's all good.
So it's all good.
That makes one of us. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Any thoughts?
You know what? No. We will. Right now, no. But,
Right, you got to digest and process everything. Well, I want to thank you for your time today.
Right.
We really
Right.
appreciate your input and your experience on how to navigate the world as a hard of hearing person. And I hope that you continue providing information and support that the community needs, either through you or through ACDHH. We can work together to make sure that the information gets out there. Thank you for your time and for making this happen.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Half the battle is knowing where
And
the
half the battle is
information
knowing where the information
Now
is.
we're telling you where it's going
And
to
now
be.
we're telling you where it's
Right.
going to be.
It's getting more difficult to navigate websites these days because there's so much information all over. And I think that if we work together, we can make something happen to direct people to the right pages.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.